So, welcome to another episode of Dxtalks and Cryptotalks. Another week, episode 178. We're more than happy for you to be with us. I think this week is very exciting from the news that we will be talking about. It's really, we see a schizophrenia in the terms of what's happening, especially in the US, with, in specific, the SEC, Gary Gensler, and how he's driving the innovation force of blockchain, crypto, Web3, maybe even immigrating them towards somewhere else. So there's a lot of happenings in the US, some lawsuits we will be talking about. It's really crazy times, I would say. So let's see. And as we mentioned, this is season 8, episode 178. Don't forget to share, like this episode. We are available on all of the podcast platforms from Apple to Spotify to Anghami and all of the other ones. So, our weekly call for fraud is always on our mind. And fraud is something that is happening every day, every hour, every second. So be careful of how you be approached, how you are taking possibly hijack one way or another, taking advantage of, send unproven or sent something you thought that this was the right link. Maybe you went to a similar website to one of your known applications or platforms. It's very important that you always double check. This space is full of fraud and a lot of crazy stuff. PTA is in back with us. There's a lot of events also in June. Tomorrow and today and tomorrow we have the World AI Show that just started. We have Web3 conference happening in Lisbon in 3 days. I think this is a very highly anticipated event. Hopefully next year we should join those in person. Also, we have Speech Tech Summit, which is happening on the 15th and 16th of June. London FinTech London Week, a highly anticipated event in the FinTech space. I think this is one of the events also to attend on the Western side. We had last month Dubai FinTech Summit, and this one, I think, one of the two highlights on the globe. Smart Tech Korea is happening end of the month on the 28th. Also, we're partnered with Metagate for their event that's happening in September. I will personally be there if you're available. Do Tech and of course Web3. Let me take Tay, say hi, check on him, and there we go. Hello Tay, how was your week?
تحياتي لك Rudy. Good afternoon everyone. It was a very rough week 23 of year 2023, I would say. Regulation, compliance, the war with the SEC that we have been pointing and warning about since I think we started the crypto talks with you, Rudy. We always said Gary Gensler, the SEC, is at war with cryptocurrencies. There is hidden agendas that slowly are coming up to the public today. Most of the news for this week focused on what happened in the United States, with the SEC pointing on freezing assets of Binance US, the confusion that is happening in the market. People are afraid that Binance platform will be seized, or the assets on Binance will be seized. To start to kick off this session today, General or a mild warning: do not follow fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or fake news circulating on social media. Binance US is the um, under the spotlight or under the investigation. It is not Binance.com, it's Binance.us, one of the subsidiaries of Binance. Second point that we wanted to highlight is, with the news of freezing assets of Binance.us, there was no confirmation from Binance.us itself or Binance or CZ. So far, there has been no comment on such piece of news that was shared initially with Reuters, and it spread all over the social media platforms. In a nutshell, I think week 23 in year 2023 will be an unforgettable week. Mute, you're on mute, Rudy. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think the buzz and the whole scene that Gary Gensler is throwing is not just about Binance, and he went after Coinbase. So it's really crazy
Indeed.
how things are folding. And this is what I was saying in the opening, that he's driving away all of the innovations of Web3, blockchain, crypto away from the US. And this is very bad situation, I would say, on the innovation and how
True.
it's gonna go.
True. The center of this whole mystery, I would say, Gary Gensler, his former boss, was the father of one of the Alameda research executives, which had relations with SBF, or Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO and the
That's
founder of
another.
FTX, which circles back exactly, which circles back to Gary Gensler. I mean, this is what the most of the cryptocurrency enthusiasts are pointing at. How are we going to regulate this market with FTX that was under the nose of Gary Gensler,
FTX
with
2.0.
all the personal ties as well between Gary Gensler and the founders of Alameda and FTX, the meetings, the relation to MIT, the relation to having work relationships with family members of both parties at Alameda, or the executives at Alameda. And then now we're pointing the direction towards suing Coinbase and suing Binance for mainly unregistered securities. From the historical timeline of SEC, usually such type of events or punishments on unregistered securities are majorly fines. So we will sit and wait to see how much will Binance be fined, how much will Coinbase will be fined. Will the United States Department of Justice pursue its allegations against Binance with criminal activity? Then we take compliance and regulation to a whole next new level. Will they measure it equally with Coinbase? Will they have the same fair treatment? This is all up in the future, all up in the air. But it is not a pleasant moment for the United States cryptocurrency ecosystem. Neither it is regulatory and compliance departments.
Indeed, I spoke with Al Mudun newspaper about Coinbase relocating to its headquarters, possibly to UAE. So this is a very big moment if this happens, and if it's true, it's gonna be a game changer for UAE and a game loss for the US. Anyhow,
Absolutely.
let's go in the news and discover our real agenda of what's happening in this crazy world of Gary Gensler. So the mic is yours, and good luck.
Thank you, Rudy. Once again, تحياتي for everyone who is watching Crypto Talks in week 23, year 2023. This is one of the most significant weeks in the crypto timeline of 2023. Having moved in the first half of the year, we are showing significant compliance and regulatory pressure coming from the United States, specifically from the SEC, towards two of the major industry giants, Binance and Coinbase. What happened this week was not surprising. We were waiting such a moment in the past few months, especially after FTX collapsed. It was obvious that the regulator will not let this slip easily. But instead of pointing the investigation, the direction, and the efforts in regulating cryptocurrencies to prevent another event of FTX happening, the regulator decided to go on existing players, and specifically the two giants in the industry, Coinbase and Binance. It is worth to note, with the sheer size of this event that came from the United States, the repercussions on cryptocurrency prices were not that big. We did not see a 15 or 20% dip in the past 24 hours. Going quickly on the prices, Bitcoin lost its momentum on the 28,000 range. It is trading now at 26,481. It dipped, if I'm not mistaken, below $25,000 to quickly recover its position. Ethereum stayed on the same levels, 1,800, 1,900. It's trading now 1,845. We covered last week the news on Ripple and the possible relisting of XRP. XRP continued to defend the $0.5 line, and with the rest of cryptocurrencies, very slight slippage in the or slipping in price. So as we said, the news did not hit the market and affect the pricing as much as people wanted or people anticipated. Perhaps the Reuters news will come out as a fake news, but so far, to begin our session for today and to open with the top five news for week 23, Reuters reported the crackdown on cryptocurrency and the lawsuits against Coinbase and Binance. The wealth of CZ and Binance, or what CZ holds in wealth from Binance, dropped by $1.4 billion to $26 billion after being named one of the most wealthiest people on earth. Coinbase boss Brian Armstrong as well took a $361 million hit to his net worth after the news of the SEC, and now he's sitting at a $2.2 billion net worth. So both crypto chiefs or CEOs of the company, they were slapped for being sloppy in reporting in the SEC, handling of security rules. Although Coinbase went public with its exchange, still according to the SEC, they they are running on unregistered security or unregistered securities platform. It is worth noting the words that were used against CZ specifically, where the SEC sued the Binance founder, CZ. They're saying that he is operating a web of deception. There is a list of 13 charges that accuse this cryptocurrency mogul of secretly controlling customer funds and withholding information from regulators. Coindesk as well reported that the SEC is seeking temporarily to restrain or to order the freezing of Binance.US assets. Binance.US is not related to Binance directly in a direct relationship. Yes, they carry the same brand, they carry the same name, yet they have two different organizational structures. The structure in the US is today under scrutiny from the regulator. There has no comments from CZ or Binance so far on such allegations. And we have to continue and see how this story will evolve. Um, in a tweet late Tuesday, yesterday night, Binance US said user assets remain safe and secure, and the attorneys are trying to provide information to the SEC to address fund security and fund safety concerns. From the SEC as well, we move into our local, we call the theme of our crypto talks, always with one of the ex Minnesota Vikings co owners being charged with a cryptocurrency scam. We always warn here against scams, and you know always advocate for people to do their own research and to basically avoid falling into such type of events. What is interesting is now we're seeing regulators even take such type of scams or fraud more and more serious. They're listening to the community when they are reporting such type of activities, and we're seeing slightly more tough sentences to prevent others from pursuing or uh, taking care of customers' money, in order as well to protect the consumer funds and in order to protect the quality of money and the quality of funds in UAE. There will be stricter AML rules in the country. This will come basically in a event to help move UAE away from the gray lists that has been haunting it for quite some time. So licensed financial institutions, they will be obligated to verify the identities of all their customers. The update will start by the end of June. So the end of this month, we will start seeing this being enforced. This will be enforced by the Central Bank of UAE, where they publish their guidance on how licensed financial institutions should interact with cryptocurrencies and especially with service providers in the country. According to the central bank, who are licensed financial institutions, they are all non-crypto financial institutions that are establishing a relationship with a virtual asset provider or a VASP. This means banks are considered licensed financial institutions or LFIs. Finance companies are LFIs. Exchange houses are LFIs. Payment service providers and registered hawala providers, insurance companies, they are all considered to be LFIs. And when they want to interact with crypto service providers or virtual asset service providers, they have to adhere to very tough KYC, AML, and CFT screening for their clients. The final news for this week, we circle back on how did we start this session. There will be a heavy regulatory approach to dealing with cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, and especially with tokenizations and financial applications of blockchain. By how are they going to do this heavy regulation or heavy uplifting on controlling the ins and outs of this industry? By introducing a crypto bill, and this crypto bill is in the works of the Congress. Although we are seeing an improvement in liquidity and quality of projects today in the crypto space, yet there is a laser focus from the regulator to prevent another FTX from happening. I believe the approach they are taking is slightly wrong. It can be improved. It can be more open to host regulation, to host innovation in a safe regulatory environment. Yet, we are just messengers here, and we'll hope that the SEC will watch Crypto Talks and hear what do we have to offer? With this, Rudy, we will conclude the news for this week, and back to you.
I think it's a crazy week of how things are going. So first, thank you for all. Don't forget to like and join us in supporting this platform. There's one question, which isn't there a bill to remove Gary Gensler?
There's a lot of memes on Gary Gensler. If you want now on Twitter, you can see Twitter. It's full of Gary Gensler and the SEC memes. Yet, is there a bill to remove him? I'm not sure, and I don't think so that he will be removed in this quick pace. If he had to be removed, November 11 should have been the date, 2022, when the FTX collapsed happened.
That's exactly. This is a byproduct because when I saw the movies or the clips of the Senates, I think that was the biggest failure. And I'm just trying to read now from the Google that representative of the office, Davidson, and congressman, they are trying to introduce bills to fire SEC boss, but so far there's nothing more than this. There's no newer news. This is a 1 month old. So I won't say there's any advancements in this, even because I think this came out after the hearings that we saw
Yeah,
last month. So there isn't anything else according to the news available.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy times. This SEC, what's happening in the world of compliance in specific.
True.
I think it's
I
interesting.
mean, it is interesting, Rudy, as well, to listen to CZ and his interviews 2 years ago, and to listen to his interviews now. Laura Shen, she has a nice podcast, and she interviewed CZ in 2018. His stand on regulating crypto in 2018 was different than his view today. At that time, he believed that every country has its own regulation and they will be doing, their own basically screening, and they will abide by local rules governed with a international vision. This doesn't happen. There is a tweet as well that the SEC and basically Twitter is always bringing to the attention of the media. A tweet that goes back to 2018, when one of the compliance heads at Binance US was telling CZ that they're basically doing no KYC. Let me see if I can pull this tweet out.
Meanwhile, we have another
Yeah.
comment, I would say.
So here in Binance Chief Compliance Officer in 2018, he was saying, "We are operating as a, sorry for the word, we are operating as a fucking unlicensed securities exchange in the US, bro." This was one of the tweets that the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has put on its Twitter handle when they charged CZ. So it is really a uh, I
Stupid.
wouldn't say, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a comedy or a tragedy. It is like you're watching a show, you're watching a series, and in Arabic we say nashr ghasil. It's like putting your dirty laundry in front of everyone. Absolutely no professionalism from the SEC in handling this case, and they're bringing things in 2018 that was talked about publicly, and definitely 2018 until today. You're talking 5 years down the line, the whole crypto space has changed. Binance has changed, the way they do business has changed, and the investigations on not only Binance but as well multiple cryptocurrencies as well, they were tainted or tarnished as they are securities, and that's why Binance and Coinbase are facilitating unregistered
I'm,
securities, and they are an unregistered platform.
I'm fun. That's funny because I just checked when Binance US was incorporated. It was in 2019. So
Yeah.
after that tweet, so maybe
Yes.
they will touch
Yes.
them
Yes.
in that space also. It's really a comedy show, I would say. Bob
Yeah.
is saying price of Bitcoin is stable. This shouldn't have brought the market down. Well, it seems it's not affecting the market.
Uh, I mean, if we look at technical analysis on the prices of Bitcoin, many tech traders or tech analysts that do day-to-day trading or swing trading or any type of trading on crypto, most of them agreed on one point, that if Bitcoin does not break again the $30,000 line, the support line, by mid by towards the end of May and the beginning of June, then we are going to see a drop in price. The drop happened. Did it happen because of the SEC? Yeah, I don't think at this stage we are affected by news and by FUD as we used to do before. So the first reaction that is happening today when FUD is going out, and I want everyone to notice this behavior on the groups that they belong to, especially social media groups, WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups. What is the effect of such news? Before 3 or 4 years ago, people will sell their coins and exit in USDT. Now they're not doing this. Now they're withdrawing their funds into their own non custodial wallets. So most of the chatter today on social media is about, hey, did you hear what happened to Binance? Time to withdraw to non-custodial wallet. Time to withdraw to Trust. That's what the most headlines are. It is time to withdraw to Trust wallet or to Trust. Again, before 3, 4, 5 years ago, hey, time to sell. And this is the difference today. The lack of selling, this movement between non-custodial back to the exchange, exchange back to non-custodial, this is this small margin or the small effects that we're seeing. But the on-chain data, the on-chain analysis is showing that the today Bitcoiners and cryptocurrency holders are becoming smarter with time. How do we know this? Because if we look at chain analysis from Glassnode and we analyze the behavior of long term holders are growing by number, and they're knowing to uh, buy low, sell high. In the past, we saw huge volatility when such news came out. Today, it's not the case. So I think and I believe that the behavior of the crypto man and woman has evolved, it has transformed. They're more resilient to FUD. They're realizing if my money is on an exchange, then it's not safe. I need to put it in my own wallet. If I need to trade, I'm going to trade quickly on an exchange and exit back to my own wallet. This is the behavior that is becoming more and more evident, and the evidence is coming from basically on-chain analysis by analyzing the behavior of long-term and short-term holders.
Yeah, I guess it's very interesting. Hani says, I think Gary is buying BTC and suing exchanges. By the way, I checked this yesterday. There was a lot of pump and dumps, or actually pumps more on social media. They were talking about this. So I don't know if you have anything on that
I mean,
space.
it is everything's possible. Everything is possible. What we know, Kathy Wood from ARK Investments, she doubled down on her investments on Coinbase. And although the SEC has charged Coinbase with unregistered securities, and there is a slight turf war going on between them two, what did Kathy Wood come to do? Invest in Coinbase and buy more shares in it. So if you have been in the crypto space in 2012 and you evolved with this uh, cycles of Bitcoin being from at that time it was 25 Bitcoins per block until today we are issuing 6.25 Bitcoins per block. A lot of things has happened, but as well a lot of things they repeat themselves. What we are seeing today with Gary Gensler with the SEC is not new. It happened in 2014 with MTGOX. It happened later with Bitfinex when they got hacked. Every time a major event happens in crypto, the regulator jumps in to protect, but they're not protecting the consumer funds. They're protecting their own interests and they're trying to use this as a political weapon. If CZ, his name was, I don't know, Jon Snow, maybe wouldn't have seen such attention to it. Same thing like same thing with Coinbase. The Coinbase and Binance US, they're operating more or less the same products, more or less the same services, more or less in the same country, catering to the same people. Why one you have to go with 13 acts of money laundering? Yani, there is still a little bit more to charge Binance US with criminal activity, while Coinbase is just, yeah, unregistered securities, take a fine, and yalla, let's move on.
One last question. We don't hear anything related to ETH from Elias. It's
ETH
under
is
the radar.
healthy. ETH is fine. ETH is healthy. Today you have to wait approximately 45 days to stake your ETH to become an ETH validator. This is a huge, big positive sign for ETH. Growing number of applications, growing activity from developers on the ETH chain, a lot of as well discussions on improving privacy roll-ups. But all in all, ETH is doing what is doing, being the smart contract platform of the world and of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. There are many improvements on the wallet designs of ETH as well. Perhaps next session will shed the light on one of my favorite improvements lately that ETH has been, or ETH community has been focusing on, is making the access to Web3 a little bit easier. And here we're talking about the new standards of creating cryptocurrency wallets, especially when we talk about abstractions and using abstractions in smart contracts. It's a topic for another time. But this the future of crypto today is lying upon the hands of its people to encourage their lawmakers, their regulators, compliance officers. If you are in compliance, if you work in a bank, if you are from the traditional finance sector, it is time to look and see how can you contribute in making cryptocurrencies and blockchain safer for everyone to use, not to use it as a political tool for political agendas.
Yeah, let's remind everybody, not your keys, not your coins. This is something becoming very clear and very should put as a thumbprint and fingerprint for your actions. Don't neglect it. I think Ethereum now is living the proof of stake age and focusing on more of the transaction speed and scaling the network itself, layer one. Very interesting updates. Anyhow, don't forget to follow Tay on at Floos. Uh, Again, Tay, congrats on all of the achievements that happened at Floos within the last month or so, and cheers to more.
More to come. More to come. We are busy uh, working towards access for developers and access for consumers into this new world of money, new world of cryptocurrencies. I'll be next week at We Make the Future conference at the opening stage of We Make the Future, together with one of my favorite heroes, Tim Berners-Lee, the founder of www. Together, we will share the stage and do the opening act of We Make the Future. Other than that, please always make sure whoever you are talking to on social media is the right guy, whether it's me, Rudy, any of my team members. Double check that this is the right person, even if you have just had talking to this guy 5 minutes ago. Double check that you're on the right handle, on the right conversation. None of us, none of Flus members, none of Crypto Talks members, none of Dxtalks members will ask you for money, will ask you for crypto. Always check you're on the correct Telegram handle as well. My handle is at FLUUS Flus, not FIUUS, and not any other type of wording. Our official Telegram is at its Flus. If you see an impersonator, directly report them. With this, I want to wish you a lovely start of the next half of this year. Keep in mind Litecoin halving, August 2023. Keep in mind Bitcoin halving, April 2024. Those are very important two dates for the proof of work cryptocurrencies, the ones that still rely on mining to create them and to create their monetary and fiscal policies. With this, I'll see you next week. Thank you, Rudy, for hosting us again, and looking forward to meeting you all next week.
Thank you, Tay. See you next week. So as we see, things are very hot, especially with what's happening in the US, Binance, Coinbase, and all of the, I would call it the hot seat of de-motivation and de-innovation in the space, trying to protect under the idea of trying to protect the formal economy, let's say, or the security exchanges in the US. But I think they are doing it in a very wrong way. Whereas if you see and you compare to what's happening in UAE, it's a totally different game. So the biggest loser here is the US. The biggest winner is UAE. That's it for now. Don't forget to and see you next week.